Let's check out the GameCube controller for the Nintendo Switch 2. That's right, this is the GameCube controller for the Switch 2. I'm so happy they released the GameCube side to the Switch 2, but this is the controller. Now I do actually have an original GameCube controller just here so that we can compare them in a little while. Now this is obviously wireless, so it's more reminiscent of the Wavebird, which I actually don't have any longer, sadly. This is only for Nintendo Switch 2. If you don't know, only the Switch Pro and Joy-Cons can wake the Switch 2 from sleep, but so can this one. So there we go. Just hold the home button and there we go. You can wake the Switch 2 from sleep. It's only the official controllers. So you're looking at Joy-Cons, the GameCube and the Pro controller. Any third party or even the older Joy-Cons and stuff will not wake from sleep. You'll have to turn it on first and then connect them. Everything you see on the front is what you'd expect, but look at the top. So on the top, we've got our Z button, which was always there, but we've now got a C button for chat. We've got a wireless pairing button there. We've got our USB-C charging port, our player indicator. We have home. We have our screenshot and ZL. The only thing we are missing is plus and minus. Now start/pause just there actually acts as the plus button, but there is no minus. So we are missing one button. You cannot remap this controller. You can for everything else, but not on the GameCube controller, which is a little bit strange. I thought they would give you freedom to use this as you please, but no. They also say that this is only to be used on the GameCube side of the Switch 2, and well, they said that about the N64 controller and other controllers in the past as well, but yeah, I've tested this. This does work just as a normal controller, so I was playing Mario Kart World for it, which is fine because all you need to do is press A, right, and then drift and stuff. It does work effectively in that game. Just bear in mind, whilst this might work for a lot of games, you are missing that extra button. Also, you've kind of inconvenienced by that tiny ZL and the face layout here. The face button's just here because you've got A, B, Y, and X. So it does differ from the layout on a Switch sort of controller, right? Because you would feel that maybe X is where Y is or whatever, you know, like it's a bit of a weird layout, so it might take some getting used to unless you're old school like me and you're used to the actual layout of a GameCube controller, right? This is probably only aimed at people like around my age that grew up with a GameCube or had them back in the day. How many youngsters are probably buying this? Maybe not that many. Let me know down in the comments if you are. Where it excels is, of course, the Nintendo Switch Online. Now, obviously, we're just after launch. We're a couple weeks after launch. There's only 3 games that I can test this on right now, but that was enough for me. Obviously, Nintendo are going to be adding more and more and more games onto the GameCube side. I cannot wait. Obviously, subscribe if you want to, like, see more discussions and stuff about that. What I've tested this on is F-Zero GX, one of the best gravity races of all time, which I had an absolute blast playing this. This is the preferred way to play. Now, I do need to say as well, this is the best way of playing F-Zero GX because the way that they designed the game. So you press A to go as you would expect, right? But for boost power, what you do is you roll your thumb forward to hit Y. So whilst you're driving with A, right, to boost, you just rock forward and press Y. Now on an actual Nintendo controller, this becomes pretty difficult, right? Because look at the layout here. If you're pressing A here, now you need to roll over to Y. So you kind of need to play like with your thumb there and then kind of match everything. So you do need to rebind in the GameCube side the boost power button, right, if you're not using a GameCube controller. However, of course, if you are using a GameCube controller, then that's not a problem at all. What I do love is the fact that they let you remap everything, and this came in handy for me when I was playing Zelda. So they've got Wind Waker on there, not the HD version, it's just a polished up GameCube port, right? And I love that game, but I hate the inverted controls. So you can go in and change the controls around, which I really like. Just be aware that that will affect when you actually get the Wind Waker, right? When you play tunes, you'll have to remember to do the opposite movement, but there we go. It's something that you'll have to live with, right? But that game was great. And I do have to say the little tiny D-pad we've got just here still works absolutely brilliantly. I was playing Soul Calibur. Yes, I suck at it, but I still won against the CPU, right? But the D-pad here worked absolutely fine. Even though I couldn't remember the controls, couldn't remember my moves, I was just having a blast, having fun with it, and it was inputting absolutely fine. It still let me win with the D-pad, right? But let's just have a quick feel, even though I've just gone over all my experiences with everything. D-pad feels really nice. Now, compared to the original, it's much nicer. The original, obviously this is ancient now. I mean, this is over 20 years old. It is very, very old, and it's super mushy and horrible on the D-pad. This just feels like a brand new controller, and it's pivotal. We've got a nice pivot on there, whereas this one's kind of, it's still got a pivot, but you can push everything down if you really try. This one you can kind of, but it does have a pivot, right? So nice D-pad. The tension on the sticks is absolutely lovely, better than the original, a little bit firmer than the original, right? But I love that. We've got the C stick, which I call the nubbin. I love the little nubbin stick, really, really nice. But the tension here on these sticks, and they've still got the octagonal gates as well, which people are gonna love for like Smash Bros and stuff like that. Face buttons and everything feel really, really nice, right? They just feel great. You've got the big, weird, analogy kind of pumpy triggers. Again, feel really, really nice against these. These, take a listen to the OG ones. You can hear the springs and stuff rattling around. Let's take a listen to the new one. Nice and tight, like really nice. Everything's much better on this controller, much newer. I highly recommend the Nintendo GameCube controller. I've been having so much fun. I just can't wait for them to release more games onto the GameCube side of it. But do I recommend this? If you're like me and you grow up with a GameCube and you absolutely love it for nostalgia reasons, then yeah, like this is the side of Nintendo Switch Online that I'm going to play the most. I wasn't overly fussed about the NES and the SNES. N64 is pretty cool, but GameCube is where it's at. Everyone knows that's the best, right? That's where like modern gaming comes into play. And this lets me relive my childhood, and I'm just so happy with that. Do I recommend it? Yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Once you're down there, like this video, subscribe, become a member, and then you can talk to myself, Andy, and AJ over on our private Discord, and let me know your favorite GameCube game down in the comments of whether you're going to buy this or not. Bye.